Good morning, Singapore. All right. My name is Tim Sinan. Welcome to our Google Cloud Summit. It's great to have all of you here with us at the beautiful Marina Bay Sands. We're delighted for all of your participation. I'd also like to give a warm welcome to everyone on the live stream today. Now, we've live streamed our summits. This is the 5th summit that we've live streamed. So I'm counting on all of you to make a lot of noise, bring the energy, and make all of our speakers feel really welcome today. Now, this is the 3rd year that we run our summit here in Singapore. And I'm so grateful to all of you, to our customers, to our partners, our analysts, influencers, and developers. You've all been an important part in creating our Google Cloud platform and everything that we're doing across Southeast Asia and Singapore. And today's a culmination of a lot of what we've been doing for the past 3 years. Thank you so much. I'm very grateful for all of that, what you've done for us. Today we're going to show you how Google Cloud will enable a digital transformation. And a digital transformation that's going to make your business run faster, make it more responsive to your customers, and will make it more secure. But before I get into all of that exciting stuff, I do want to take a moment to thank our sponsoring partners for helping to put our event on today. These partners are an essential part of the ecosystem that we continue to invest in on behalf of our customers. They extend our business collaboration in the field. We collaborate with them on behalf of our customers, and they make critical investments in their businesses to certify their teams and to innovate on top of Google Cloud. Please spend some time with them. They've got partner booths set up today. Learn about some of the capabilities that they've built around Google Cloud. But please do join me right now in giving them a round of applause and thanking them for sponsoring our summit today. Now, at Google Cloud, we have a very clear vision for helping customers on their digital transformation journey. First is to provide a global scale distributed infrastructure that's fast, reliable, and secure. Second is to offer a platform for digital transformation, including workload and application modernization with rich, smart analytics and artificial intelligence. Finally, we're building industry-specific capabilities for digital transformation that solve particular problems for those industries. We're doing that on our own, and we're doing that with our partners. Now, throughout the day today, you'll hear about some really exciting product innovations, customer stories, and our plans with Google Cloud for Singapore and Southeast Asia. The cloud is not just about digitally transformative outcomes for businesses, but it also has significant economic impact to our region. To that end, we've worked with Boston Consulting Group, BCG, to size the economic impact of cloud across Asia Pacific. This study entailed discussions with over 1,000 IT decision makers and policy makers. We conducted this study in Australia, India, Indonesia, Singapore, and South Korea. Public cloud deployment is expected to contribute over $450 billion to the GDP of Asia Pacific, and it will create jobs, over 1.6 million jobs between now and 2023. In other words, your organization's digital transformation on the cloud is a driver for economic activity across Asia Pacific. Now, specific to Singapore, public cloud deployment is expected to contribute over $30 billion in GDP, and it will impact over 43,000 jobs between now and 2023. And close to 90% of that value creation in the economy will be derived across a number of areas, including digital native organizations, financial institutes, retailers, traditional enterprises, and other users of public cloud to drive digital transformation. But what do we really mean by digital transformation? Everyone has a perspective on what that means. Well, from our perspective, everything is really around focusing on helping you work better with your customers, accelerate the time to develop products and services, improve a sales process, and provide better customer service. And you do that with better partnering and better collaboration across your extended network, internally and externally. That's what we really mean by digital transformation. It's really around aligning your IT assets to provide a richer, more responsive customer experience that drives greater value and security. And in order to build those new business models and enhance those customer relationships, we really do believe that you need a platform for digital transformation. You need a platform that allows you to develop, deploy, and manage modern applications and software. You do need best-in-class analytics, artificial intelligence, and machine learning. And organizations that do this well they embrace this new way of collaboration. They do that at speed and at scale across their extended network. And we're going to be talking about some of this in our vision throughout the keynote today. Now, we've been investing in your success. You would have seen in some of the opening keynote as well, or the opening video, that we currently have 20 cloud regions and 61 availability zones, and we have the largest private fiber network of any cloud provider today. But we've also built hundreds of products over the last 3 years. And in the last year alone, we've released over 130 product features and updates in the areas of security, collaboration, analytics, machine learning, data, and so forth. And we will continue to provide organizations and developers with the tools that they need to drive digital transformation and to do their jobs better. These products cumulatively are part of a digital transformation that's really helping to create new industries. Take a look at what's happening in Southeast Asia in ride sharing as an example. But also, some of what's happening with the advent of 5G. Think about the new OTT services that are available through some of these products. Digital transformation is happening through some of these products across various industries. Healthcare is being transformed, financial services is being reimagined, and almost every other industry is leveraging on these products as part of their digital transformation journey. Now, another key pillar of our strategy is to build solutions that are unique to specific industries and solve complex problems for those industries. At Google Cloud, we really focus on 6 key industries. It's retail, healthcare, manufacturing and logistics, financial services, telecoms, media and entertainment, public sector, and healthcare. And what we've done is organize our teams around those industries in order to partner better with organizations throughout Southeast Asia and the globe. Leaders in all of these industries are leveraging Google Cloud, to power their digital transformation and their cloud journeys. As an example, we've got 9 of the top 10 media companies that leverage Google Cloud. 7 of the largest retail organizations globally leverage Google Cloud, and leaders in financial services, software, and manufacturing and other industries are leveraging our platform. But what makes me really proud and what makes us excited in Southeast Asia is the work that we're doing in our region, and specifically in Singapore. My team is working with organizations across various industries to help solve their problems. Whether you're an e-commerce platform leveraging Google Cloud, to scale during peak shopping periods. If you're an airline leveraging data and analytics to reduce fuel consumption. A taxi operator leveraging IoT to understand vehicle telemetry. Or a bank using our platform for better customer segmentation. My team is working with these organizations across Southeast Asia and Singapore to solve those problems. We're seeing very strong adoption across all of our customer segments, and you'll get a chance to hear from some of these amazing customers throughout the day today. With that, I'd like to thank you again for being with us today. We are so excited about the investments that we're making in Singapore, and we look forward to seeing you in the Google Cloud. Now, in the next hour, you're going to hear from some of my colleagues who have traveled from Seattle and San Francisco, so I want you to give them a very warm welcome when they're here on stage. But first, I'd now like to invite Dr. Santi, who's the Group Chief Economist for C Group, to come on stage and talk about their journey with Google Cloud. Dr. Santi?
Thank you. Great. Good morning, everyone. It's great to be here. My great pleasure. Thank you very much, Google Cloud, for inviting us. My name is Santi. I'm a Group Chief Economist of C. And we are a Southeast Asian based company headquartered out of Singapore. And we have 3 key businesses. We have Garena, which is our online games and esports. We have our e-commerce platforms called Shopee. And we have digital financial service called AdPay. 3 key businesses all join to have common goals in achieving digital inclusion in this region. And what I mean by that is to use the power of technology to really help and empower the consumers as well as small business around the region. I want to talk to you a little bit about our strategy doing that, and based on 2 broad themes. One is around localization, and one is around globalization. And Google has been very important partners for us in both types of strategies. Let me give you examples. So first one, talk about localization first. So Shopee, our e-commerce business, one of our key missions is to help connect aspiring entrepreneurs from around the region and consumers together. But the key is we don't want to just do that for the capital region, for the big cities, not only for the Jakarta, the Bangkok, the KL of the world. We want to do that for everyone. We want to help people who are living in, say, northern part of Thailand, the mountainous area, or the islands in the east part of Indonesia. We want to connect them to digital market opportunities. And we have been working on that and doing that right from the get-go when Shopee started in 2015. Take the example of this Indonesian map. This is when Shopee started. You can see some of the heat map of Shopee users. And in just 1 year, you can see that orange dots are popping anywhere, not just in the big cities, but in all over the countries. And that's just one example. But of course, as we go through and expand to these remote regions, there are a number of obstacles and challenges we have to encounter and overcome. For example, there's geographical barriers. How do you deliver the products to where the streets have no names? How do you get to the place where there are no addresses? So Google Maps has been a very important partner for us as we sort of reach out to all these remote regions, to the customers and entrepreneurs, bringing them together. And there's also a language barrier. We're operating in one of the most diverse regions in the world with multiple languages and culture. And we really pride ourselves in being a social-centric platform, allowing sellers and buyers to connect directly. So communication becomes very important. So Google Translate API has been a very powerful tool to help us overcome that language barrier. And through the partnership, it has helped us to grow and to become now the largest e-commerce platform in Southeast Asia and Taiwan. We have over 240 million orders in Q2, and we're still growing at close to 100%. So that's my example of localization. Now let me shift to talk about globalization, and I want to talk about use Garena, our games platform, as an example. This picture is taken from Garena World, our flagship esport or games competition event held in Bangkok earlier this year. Over the course of 2 days, we hosted over 270,000 visitors offline, and we have more than 30 million viewers online. But what I really want to talk about is this next part. We had 16 teams coming all the way from Latin America to Bangkok to compete in this event. Now, why do we have teams coming from that far to Bangkok for this event? The answer is because of this game. Free Fire is our very first self-developed games by Garena Studio. And what makes it special is that we took a lot of the insights, the things we learned about the behavior of gamers in Southeast Asia, and we take what's local and bring it global. We bring that across to other regions, emerging markets, in particular, the Latin America of the world. The Latin America, Free Fire has become #1 games, both by active users as well as consumer spent. And as we continue to grow and expand to the world, Google has been a very, very important partner for us because we are a Southeast Asia-based company for the longest time. And we have been using Google Cloud's global regions, Google compute engines as a key platform for us to reach to new market and expand all over the world. And thanks to that, Free Fire is now the 3rd most downloaded mobile games globally. It has more than 50 million registered users and very engaging community of players with more than 50 million daily active users. And these are just some of the examples I've been working and collaborating with Google Cloud. And we hope as we continue this journey that we want to continue the partnerships as we go on this journey to achieve our goals and our dreams of digital inclusion, both through globalization and through localization. Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you, Dr. Santi, for that really inspiring story. My name is Greg DiMichele. I'm a director of developer strategy at Google, and I'm thrilled to be in Singapore. Singapore is a city that embraces the future and the possibilities of change, and I can't think of a better place to talk about Google Cloud and how we can help companies embrace the possibilities of digital transformation. You know, as you heard, as Tim mentioned, we really begin our thinking of transformation around the idea of secure global infrastructure. So we're going to spend some time today talking about that, how we can help you get the freedom to run your workloads where you want them and when you want them. We're going to talk about application development, because in addition to infrastructure, you need a platform to enable your developers to innovate and create new solutions, one that doesn't lock you into any given provider. We're going to talk about data management, because data isn't just part of your company, it's the lifeblood of your company. And it's critical for enterprises and startups alike to get the most value out of their data. We'll talk a bit about artificial intelligence and the opportunities to revolutionize the way you think about data with easy-to-use pre-built solutions. And finally, we're going to talk about productivity, because your enterprise doesn't just consist of technology, it consists of people, and how we can help you enable those people to drive your business forward. So let's start with infrastructure. Infrastructure is the core of what we do at Google. For 20 years, we've effectively been building the world's largest private cloud, and now we make it available to you as well. We provide a highly scalable, globally distributed infrastructure of compute and networking. But we focus specifically on security, privacy, and reliability, because without that, nothing else matters. So let's talk about how you think about modernizing infrastructure. If you have an existing on-premise environment, you have a lot of choices to make in terms of how you bring that environment forward into the cloud. We want to both offer you we want to give you the ability to migrate those workloads easily and simply, with a few specific focus areas. First, helping you migrate your existing virtual machines into Google Cloud. Second, a focus on SAP. SAP isn't just part of your business. In many ways, it powers your business. But migrations there can be tricky. So we'll talk a bit about how we can help you with that. We also help you with workloads around Windows and high-performance computing and data center migrations. You see here listed just a few of the companies that have used Google Cloud Platform to help move their company forward. Let's drill in on one of these examples in particular, SAP. SAP is critical to your business, but those of you who've tried it know it can be tricky to run in the cloud. Most other cloud providers required you use bare metal infrastructure to run SAP, effectively giving up the benefits of virtual machines. But VMs are good. They give you extra security and flexibility. At Google Cloud, we give you the ability to run SAP workloads inside of virtual machines. That means you can scale them up and down as your business requires, and you only pay for what you use. One example of a company is Loblaws. They containerized their SAP e-commerce platform. So now they have the ability to add infrastructure in the critical Christmas shopping season and then scale that infrastructure down in January, saving money when they don't need it. The second key reason that SAP is different on Google Cloud is around our highly secure environment. For 20 years, we've been focusing on security as our primary driver at Google, protecting you from bad actors or even insider actors. But we also have unique capabilities like live migration. Let's face it, if your SAP is down, your business is down. With live migration, we can take a running SAP instance and move it from one server to another with no downtime. That enables us to do more maintenance and do more patching. The result is you get to be on a more up-to-date platform without unplanned, unscheduled downtime. The last bit I want to focus on with SAP is around innovation. SAP is your system of record for much of your important business. When you combine SAP on Google Cloud with some of the amazing data and analytics capabilities you're going to hear about later, now you're able to get more value out of your SAP installation by moving it to the cloud. Not just save money, but get more value too. But the fact is, even with all the amazing benefits of cloud, and there are many, most enterprises live in a hybrid world of both on-premise and in the cloud. And not just for a year or two, many of them will be in this situation for a decade or more. Perhaps you have a mainframe system, or you have other legacy systems that are not virtualizable. Those aren't going anywhere. They're going to be on-prem. So how do you combine the innovation that cloud enables with the fact of life that you have to continue running some of your workloads in an on-premise world? Well, that's where it traditionally gets pretty complicated. You have these on-premise workloads that are difficult to move, and as a result, you want to just run them until they die. You want to run them until they're deprecated or literally regulations require it. But now you've got complexity. Now you have an on-prem way of configuring and doing management and a cloud way of doing configuration and management. You have an on-prem way of deploying and a cloud way of deploying, an on-prem development and a cloud development. The result is you end up having multiple tools, you end up having to train multiple teams. You know, cloud was supposed to solve the problem of complexity in IT, but if you do it wrong, cloud can actually end up creating more complexity and cost. So how do we solve this tension? How do we help you get the benefits of cloud without having to double your complexity of your environment? Well, we help you by helping you avoid some of the trade-offs that other clouds force on you. Do you choose to focus on security, or do you choose to focus on speed of development? Do you choose to focus on enabling new business opportunities or keeping your systems up and running? We take an approach that actually allows you to get both of these. And it has a few key elements. First, a software-based solution. Some other cloud providers want to sell you a special piece of hardware that you put in your data center. We think that's the wrong approach. We think a software-based solution that you can deploy in the cloud or on-premise makes more sense. Other software vendors bring you proprietary solutions. We believe it is critical to be built on a foundation of open software. Open software keeps you in control of your own destiny. We also think it's important that you abstract away the details of the infrastructure. In the early days, some various multi-cloud, hybrid cloud solutions operated at the level of virtual machines and disks and networks. We think it's important to enable your developers and operators to operate at a higher level. So how do we do that? We call that product, that solution, Anthos. Anthos is Google Cloud's platform for enabling you to build, manage, and deploy applications on-premise or in the cloud with a single pane of glass and a single toolkit. So how do we do this? How does this actually work? Let's take a look. First of all, Anthos is built on the open source foundation of Kubernetes. Kubernetes is by far and away the world's most popular way to manage and run containers. Anthos then allows you to take both legacy applications and new applications and bring them into the world of containers where they can run on a single control plane. So you have one set of tools for development, one set of tools for configuration management, one set of tools for policy. And the resulting applications can run on-premise, in Google Cloud, or even in a competitor's cloud. This means you no longer have to train multiple teams or multiple departments on multiple tool sets. Cloud can now actually be a way to help you accelerate instead of being yet another platform you have to target. It's a platform for modern applications. Now, as much as fun it is to talk about Anthos, I'm a big believer in live demos. So I would like to bring up Mark Fong and Vikas Desai from our engineering team here in Singapore to give you a live demo showing you how Anthos can actually help you with this migration. Folks?
Good. Thank you, Greg. Those are some cool shoes, by the way. Good morning, Singapore. A few months ago, we introduced Migrate for Anthos. It allows you to migrate your workloads directly into containers in Kubernetes. What this does is gives you the benefit of lower costs, modern controls, more automation, and portability across the clouds. Let's see this in action. What you see here is a typical on-premise environment running virtual machines. One of the virtual machines here is running our online e-commerce solution, the shopping boutique. Let's have a look at the app. Now, as this app is running on a virtual machine, the IT has to patch it all the time while making sure that there are no disruptions. And whenever there is a flash sale or a cool product launch, like we did last night, the IT has to buy more hardware to keep up with it, and then see the hardware just sit idle the rest of the year. This site can benefit so much from running as a container. The IT does not have to worry about patching, and they can use auto-scaling up and down every time there is a new sale or a new launch. Let's go to the Cloud Cell and modernize this VM right now. All it takes is applying a simple configuration file to trigger migrate for Anthos and begin the migration process. Are you ready? Mark, please show us some magic.
Okay, Vikas. So I'm going to apply this simple configuration file to our Kubernetes cluster, and that will kick off the migration into the cloud.
Perfect. Thank you. Let's now see the console. And just like that, we have initiated the process of modernization. Normally, migrate for Anthos will take a couple of minutes to convert your VM into a container. We have a lot to cover today, so instead, we will look at a container the virtual machine that we modernized earlier today. Let's look at the IP address and see how the app looks like. As you can see, this is the exact same application, but now with all the benefits of Anthos and managed Kubernetes. Converting that VM into a container has freed you from managing the infrastructure. This makes modernization so much easier, specifically for people who thought that they will be stuck with virtual machines all their lives. In fact, our team was so excited by this prospect that they have been working hard on decomposing this application into microservices. Now what you can see here is a dynamic mesh of services talking to each other. Now managing a service-driven application can be a challenge. It requires a very different view and a different approach to security. For instance, services like procurement will require a very different kind of access control compared to the payment service, which deals with credit cards, right? Using the Google Cloud Service Mesh, you have the visibility into each of these components. So you don't have to worry about access control and can focus on business agility. Let's take a bit deeper look into this application. What you see here is the topological view of the application. The circles are the services, and the lines are the communication points. Now let's look at the product catalog. This service is being used by 3 different services. The payment service here, however, is restricted and can be accessed only from the shopping cart service. Now, since we showed you this application last year, our Google engineers have been working hard to innovate and add these advancements to this solution. Now what we offer you is real-time, in-depth telemetry and security insights. Let's have a look at the payment service console. Now what you see here on the bottom right-hand side is a recommendation, a security recommendation. Let's have a look at the security recommendation. Once we apply this policy recommendation, Cloud Service Mesh will authorize and encrypt all traffic between the payment service and the shopping cart service. This is policy-driven security without having to modify your backend or write a single line of code. Now let's go to the shell and add these changes into Anthos config management. The top half of the screen is showing our 3 clusters. And at the bottom half, you will see the same config file that we saw earlier. Now let's apply this policy by adding this into the source repository. If you are familiar with infrastructure as code, this is policy as code. The Anthos config management provides you a centralized management for applying declarative configuration across all your environments at once. And there you go. Mutual TLS is now enabled across all your Kubernetes clusters, just like that. It's pretty simple. With Anthos config management and Anthos service mesh, you can move fast and be agile while you're improving your security posture. Now, everything that we showed you today is not limited to the Google Cloud. In fact, if you look at the console, we have the application running in 3 instances. The first one is running on the Google Cloud. The second one is running on-prem. And the third one is running on another public cloud. Now, this is really big. With Anthos, you can run anywhere and manage your services consistently on Google Cloud, on-prem, or any other public cloud. So what does this mean for you? If you are a developer, you don't have to rewrite your application just to run it on a different cloud. If you are an ops person, you can manage your services consistently across clouds, on-prem or public. If you are a business person, you now have better leverage when you're negotiating your next cloud contract. In summary, Anthos is the operating system of the cloud. It accelerates your modernization journey and brings the cloud to you. Thank you.
Thanks. That was fantastic. We saw taking an existing application, easily migrating it into Google Cloud, containerizing it, gaining the flexibility to do security updates without having to get the developers involved, and in the end, having the freedom to run it wherever we want it. But you know, digital transformation can't happen unless you feel confident about the privacy and security of your underlying platform. And there's sort of 4 key parts to having a trusted cloud. It starts with protecting the infrastructure from malicious attackers, hackers, nation states, even insiders. It also extends to protecting your data. As I said before, the data is the lifeblood of your business. You need to know who is accessing it and why. But enterprises aren't just consisting of applications and servers, right? It includes people and devices. And with Chrome, Chrome OS, and Android, we can extend security all the way out to that layer as well. And of course, transparency and visibility. It's not enough for you to just take a cloud provider's word for it. You need to know for yourself that they're living up to their promises. So how do we stack up on those sorts of scores? Well, let me start with transparency. And we have a very simple rule. Your data is your data, period. It belongs to you and no one else. We do not sell your data to any third party. We never use it for advertising purposes. Your data is your data. We encrypt your data on your behalf automatically. Nothing to configure. There's no step that you could forget. Data is always encrypted in transit and in rest. But we know you have particularly sensitive data where you want an extra level of protection. So we give you the ability to control your own encryption keys, rotating them as needed, or even bringing your own keys where Google itself can't access them. We have explicit rules to guard against insider access to data. We can even give you near real-time notification of when anyone, whether that's a Googler or your own employee, accesses your corporate data, say in response to a support ticket. And we take pride in our international audits to give you the security to know that we're living up to our promises. That's what it means to be a trusted cloud platform. Speaking of security and audits, we comply with numerous international standards, and we work constantly to expand our list of certifications. Here in Singapore, we now provide support for OSPAR, for Singapore-based financial services. This, again, gives you the confidence to know that we're living up to the commitments that we make to you each and every day. So if you've got this secure platform and this great platform for transformation, how do you build applications? Because the reason all of this infrastructure exists is to enable your developers to solve your problems. And here, we think a lot about what does it mean to make developers successful, productive, and happy. We have an application platform that starts with the foundation, the things that every developer needs. Continuous deployment and continuous integration, so that you have minimized the time from when a developer makes a change to you see that change in production. We embrace serverless. Let's face it, no developer got into software development to patch operating systems. Yet that's what they end up having to spend their time with. So we provide a serverless platform to get developers out of the business of having to think about that. You heard about our hybrid cloud solution that enables your developers to be productive whether you're asking them to build an on-prem or a cloud-based application. But at the end of the day, what is it developers want to do? I actually don't think it's that complicated. If you talk to any developer, it's pretty simple. They want to ship great code. They want to do it often, and they want to do it with security and reliability. That's why serverless is so popular, because serverless takes away all of the infrastructure. But the problem is that most serverless environments come at a cost. You have to program in JavaScript. You can't use any third-party libraries. It's a very constrained world. So as a developer, you face this choice. Do I use containers, which give me immense flexibility and choice? Or do I use serverless, which makes me go really fast? Well, what if you had a platform that didn't require that choice? What if you had a platform that let you combine the flexibility of containers with the speed and agility of serverless? What would that look like? Well, it would look like something we call Cloud Run. It's a new product that brings serverless capabilities to the world of containers. You can take your existing container-based technology with a few clicks of a mouse, deploy it into Cloud Run, and it's instantly ready to serve traffic. Now Cloud Run will auto-scale it for you. So as traffic increases, we will create more instances. Equally as importantly to the business people in the audience, when there's no traffic, we will scale it down all the way to 0. You literally are paying only for what you use. And when I say what you use, I mean to the nearest 1/100th of a millisecond. This is software development the way developers want to do it. The language of their choice, the library of their choice, the runtime of their choice, but deployed in a way where they don't have to think about all the details. Now, just like we did with Anthos, I'm a big believer in live demos. So I want to bring up Henry Wu and Vincent Tan, who are going to show you a live demo of Cloud Run in action. Folks?
Thank you. Thank you, Greg. So today, there are two options for you to run Cloud Run. So either you can use it as a fully managed service in Google Cloud, or you can deploy it to any Anthos GKE cluster. The most important thing is the functionality is the same. So in the fully managed service, you get more simplicity. And in the Cloud Run for Anthos, you get more flexibility to deploy on Google Cloud, on-premise, or even any other cloud provider. So today, I'm going to introduce you Henry to show you how easy it is to deploy a container to Cloud Run. Henry.
Thank you, Vincent. My name is Henry Wu, and I am a developer. Today, I have a really cool application. I'm going to show you how easy it is to deploy to Google Cloud. So in the Google Cloud Console, you can simply navigate to Cloud Run section and go to the deployment page, paste the URL of our container image, and select the regions that are closer to us, and then simply click Create. That's all you need to do to deploy your application to Cloud Run. No need to provision infrastructure in advance, no YAML file, or no complex server infrastructure configurations. Cloud Run take care of that all for you, so you can focus more on the application. So let's take a look at the application that we just deployed. This is the microservice that we built to convert Microsoft Word documents into PDF file.
Nice. So Henry, do you think you can convert the document that I sent you yesterday?
Yes, absolutely. So Vincent just sent me his favorite pancake places in Singapore.
Thank you.
So what we are trying to do is we're uploading this Word document to our microservice, and let our microservice do the magic. So here we got our PDF back.
Wow, so interesting. So can you tell us a little bit more about this application rather than just showing my pancake diary?
Yes, of course. So let's take a look at the code. So here we have a simple Python application which handles HTTP requests for us. And we use a library called OpenOffice to transform a Microsoft Word document into PDF file. This is a 15-year-old piece of software, but it runs smoothly inside the container, as I show you in the Docker file, runs on Cloud Run.
Wow, it seems really easy, but what if today my application requires like custom CPU, RAM, or even like GPUs, and sometimes I need to only deploy to Singapore? Can I still use Cloud Run?
Yes, absolutely. So let's say if you want to have more control of your server configuration, or you simply want to deploy your application to a cluster like you already created. So today we are also introducing Cloud Run for Anthos. So within the same UI, you can simply paste the same URL, but instead of choosing the fully managed version, here we are going to choose the Cloud Run for Anthos option. So this allows us to deploy our application to a cluster that we already created. So in this case, this is a cluster located in Singapore. So now I'm just simply click Create. So Cloud Run is deploying our application and manage it and make sure it runs smoothly and securely on Cloud Run.
Wow, so you mean I can run my application in the cloud or even on premises?
Yes, of course. So both Cloud Run and Cloud Run for Anthos are powered by Knative. It is an open source project that runs serverless workload that we launched last year. This means that we can simply deploy the same microservice workload to any Kubernetes clusters using Knative.
Wow, thank you, Henry. So, thank you. So in summary, Cloud Run gives your containers everything you love about serverless. So there are no more servers to manage, just focus on code. And second, you can scale up fast and scale down, even to 0, and pay for exactly what you use. And lastly, you can use any language or binary, and you will get the consistent experience in the cloud or on premises. So Cloud Run is in public beta today. Please give it a try. So now, I would like to invite Greg back up to the stage. Thank you.
Thanks. That was a great example of seeing Cloud Run in action. We started the morning talking about the challenges of cloud in a multi-cloud environment, and about Anthos gives you a foundation built on open source that keeps you in control of where your applications run and frees you from having to train multiple software development teams to handle multiple environments. We talked about the importance of security and privacy and reliability as foundational touchstones, and how your data is your data. And we wrapped up by talking about how we help your developers ship great code, have more fun along the way, and add more value to your business. But that's really only one part of the story. We started the day talking about data and the importance of data to your organization. So I'm delighted to bring up my colleague and friend, Alison Wagenfeld, our Chief Marketing Officer, to talk to you about the ways that Google Cloud can help you solve your data management problems as well. Alison?
Thank you. Good morning, everyone. Good morning to those of you in the live stream. So I'm Alison Wagenfeld, the Chief Marketing Officer from Google Cloud. And I'm out here from California. And it's wonderful to be here because we're investing so much in this region and Southeast Asia. And it's great to spend a week here in Singapore just learning about all the innovation that's happening here in this market. So we're going to talk a little bit about data management. Let's start with a question. How many of you have lots of data? Yeah, so that's pretty much everyone. Me too. And so that's why we're so focused on data management at Google. Because on top of the high-scale infrastructure, our digital transformation platform provides capabilities to manage data at scale. to help you build and migrate existing applications and do really smart analysis for business insights, all using fully managed data services. So our data management platform helps with the database migration. And now we offer SQL Server on GCP. And in addition, we have new partnerships to enable you to manage your Oracle workloads as well. Customers from Southeast Asia, such as AirAsia and Gojek, are using our data management platforms, as well as Spotify, New York Times, and other huge companies around the world. So as you can see from this slide, there are lots of elements to our data management portfolio. We offer a complete set of solutions that enable you to manage different workload types: in-memory, NoSQL, relational, and I'm sure hopefully you're all familiar with BigQuery, one of the most popular data warehouse solutions in the world. Our data management portfolio meets a wide variety of requirements, such as geo-distribution, high scalability, and high availability, and even geo-scale with Spanner. And in April, we announced partnerships with key open source-centric providers to provide a managed service with unified billing, unified support, and a unified experience. These are really important partners for us in providing data management solutions. And so when it comes to data management, we're giving you a complete set of tools for all your sources. So this helps making operating data at scale much simpler. And then you can focus on delivering great apps and great insights for your users and for your business. But don't just take it from me. I'm pleased to be able to invite a customer who can share with you how they're using data management at scale to provide great solutions for all of you here. Please join me in welcoming Kwek Kwok from GovTech to the stage to share his story.
Thank you. Thank you, Alison. Good morning, everyone. I'm Kwek from GovTech, running the National Digital Identity Program. Great to be here today. In the next 5 minutes, I'd like to share with all of you 5 things about the National Digital Identity Program, or in short, NDI, and how we are working with Google Cloud to achieve some of our design outcomes. But first of all, what is NDI? NDI is this one universal digital identity that the government will be issuing to all Singaporeans, citizens, residents, possibly foreigners, for use for their transactions with both government and private sector digital services. They can use it online or in the physical realm, within Singapore, and in future beyond Singapore. With the pervasiveness of smart devices, we think that it is an opportunity for us to introduce this next generation identity based on cryptography for higher assurance and embed this identity within a secure element of your mobile phone for greater mobility and ease of use. But we are very clear from the start that issuing everyone with a digital identity is just a means to an end. It is what you can use this identity for that is more important. Thus, it is important to look at NDI as a two-sided platform, where we have to drive the adoption of the citizens as well as the adoption of the businesses for our NDI platform. On the consumer front, we have launched a SingPass mobile pilot about a year ago. The adoption and the feedback that we received has been very encouraging. On the business front, we are introducing 6 go-to-market products. Essentially, these are families of APIs that businesses can use to support their digitalization end-to-end to drive greater efficiency in their operations as well as improve their customer service. The adoption of this has been also very encouraging. More than 200 private sector digital services has been leveraging on our MyInfo platform for eKYC and customer acquisition. And they have reported great results in terms of savings in operations cost, in terms of improved customer journeys, and increase in conversion because of lower abandonment rates. The benefits to citizens and businesses are clear. What isn't so obvious is our aim to create an open, connected, and trusted digital ecosystem so that data and services can transcend the boundaries of organizations as well as country. Being open, being connected, and being trusted is synonymous to Singapore's success. We have become an international service and trade hub in the past 50 years, built on the world-class infrastructure that we have to support the movement of people, the movement of goods. With digitalization, it is also about the movement of data. And NDI aims to be that digital enabler to support that. Over the last few years, the government, and in particular, GovTech, has gone through massive transformation in the ways that we operate. I'd like to share 4 shifts in transformational shifts in how we run our projects, and this applies to how we implement the NDI program as well. First, I'll shift from project management to product management. This may be very obvious to a young, new digital organization. But for a large incumbent organization like us, this requires us to make massive transformation shift in terms of mindsets, skill sets, and processes. With a product management approach, we need to listen to our users, our customers, to know what they want and how they are using our products through using data. And we need to regularly and continuously develop and ship new features into our product. And as such, we can no longer adopt the old approach of defining scope right up front and outsourcing this to the industry. Instead, we adopt a more co-development approach where we work with the industry to develop these initiatives. For that purpose, we have rebuilt our engineering capabilities over the last few years and take more ownership on the architectural decisions. That leads me to the third point, where we no longer accept solutions, just whatever solutions that the industry proposed. In the past, we are very afraid of showing preference of technology. And so we leave it to the industry to tell us how they can propose a solution to meet our objective. That's no longer the case. We are taking more deliberate and more ownership into our architectural decision. And on top of that, we are also building our own GovStack platform, where applications can be built on top of it. This will drive more consistency, reusability, interoperability of all applications. And lastly, we have also put in place a cloud-first policy, and I believe this is one of the first, if not the first, that any government organizations have done. We are going to move majority of our systems of engagements to the cloud to take advantage of the scalability and resiliency and allow us to leverage industry innovation to build modern applications. Architecturally, we want to achieve 5 design outcomes. And these are security, privacy, inclusivity, resiliency, and interoperability. This is foundational to the trust that we want to enshrine within our ecosystem. Together, we call it the spirit of NDI. I do not have time to share much detail about this, but I do want to share how Google is supporting us in some of these design outcomes, in particularly our aim to have multi-cloud resiliency. We have started to build our applications, deploy our microservices workloads on Kubernetes across multiple clouds without application changes. Architecture is about choices. By working on multi-cloud, it allows us and helps us to make architectural decisions, such as whether we want to adopt a cloud-native product or a cloud-neutral product. Architecture is also about creating choices. And through working on multi-cloud, it allows us to design applications that can minimize the lock-ins that we face in the future. Through working with Google, we also came to appreciate some of their products better. For example, we like the Cloud IAM, which provides enough flexibility for us to meet our requirements, but also very simple to manage and configure. With the recent launch of Cloud IAM Recommender, it also provides us with the visibility and allow us to resolve any overly granted permissions with ease. Complexity is an enemy of security. The promise of a unified, hybrid, multi-cloud management tool cannot be ignored. And we look forward to realizing these benefits together with Google Cloud in the near future. Thank you. Back to you, Alison. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Quixon. It's really an impressive story to hear about how GovTech has really been modernizing, and we're thrilled to partner with you on your journey. So now that we've discussed data management, I'm pleased to talk about smart analytics. As the CMO of Google Cloud, I'm always looking for more insights and intelligence from our data, and I'm sure many of you are always in that same position. So how do we do that? So we offer a range of products and services, from basic yet powerful analytics to sophisticated tools for advanced data insights, particularly with artificial intelligence and machine learning. So our smart analytics solutions are not just lift and shift of traditional on-premise architecture. Now customers can modernize their core analytics with cloud-native data warehouses, simplified big data processing, stunning dashboards and reports, and advanced and easy-to-use AI and ML. And we're excited about all of the great organizations in Southeast Asia that are using our smart analytics. Recently, we announced 3 major new capabilities in data analytics, including new ways to ingest data, to move data into our cloud, to cleanse, categorize, and understand it. Second, significant enhancements to data warehousing as a service. And third, seamless integration of AI and ML with our analytics foundation to provide predictions, forecasting, and other capabilities. So we've announced dozens of products this year, in 2019, and continuing to have great new introductions coming out. And we're excited that we're going to be able to show some of those to you today, shortly, in a demo. And we're working with a broad range of partners to offer the best and most complete solutions across all of the elements of smart analytics, including how we highlight and show all the analytics and dashboards. Now, I'm guessing your business involves data from a whole bunch of different sources. And that's really what Cloud Data Fusion is all about. Data Fusion can help you focus on insights and actions instead of coding and integration. It's a fully managed and cloud-native data integration service with a broad range of open source connectors, open source transformations, and many out-of-the-box connectors for all sorts of systems and data formats. And we've talked about some of the products, but now I'm excited to demonstrate the power to you in our analytics. So to set up this demo, I want you to imagine the last time you've been waiting at home or in your apartment for a box to arrive. Have you ever spent time thinking about all of the data that goes into getting that package to you at the right address, at the right time, with all of the right information? You can imagine the supply chain, the traffic information, the service, the shipping elements. And you can imagine the companies that are trying to pull all of that together to be able to provide that service to you. So now you're going to have a chance to see a demo about how that all comes to life from my colleague Graham. Take it away.
Thanks, Alison. Good morning, everyone. So we've got all of this shipping data in an on-premise database, and we want to shift it into the cloud so we can start to run some analytics and insights on that. And to do that, we're going to use Google Data Fusion. Data Fusion is a cloud-native serverless tool with a number of open source transformations and over more than 100 connectors to allow you to bring your data from your on-premise environment into the cloud. So here's the Cloud Data Fusion UI, and we're going to go in and we're going to have a look at our data. So here we are in what we call the Wrangler, and we can connect. Here you can see our production database. And so we're going to actually connect to our production database through Data Fusion. And we can see all of our tables here, but we're most interested in the shipping table. So let's take a look at that. And here's our shipping data ready for us to look at. So the whole table is presented. Now at this stage, we can actually do some transformations and we can massage the data before bringing it into our data sync. So I'm going to go ahead here. I'm actually going to delete a column. Now, this is obviously a very simple transformation. There are a huge number of transformations that we can do to help clean up and manage our data. And when we're done with our transformations, we can simply create a pipeline. Now, the pipeline, we're going to do a batch pipeline today, but of course, we can also do a real-time streaming pipeline, and we can even schedule our batch pipeline to run in another mode. So we'll go ahead and click the batch, and that's going to take us to the workbench. And so we can see here in the workbench our data source, and then it's going into the Wrangler for our transformations, and of course we now need to set a destination. So here we are, we're just going to add BigQuery, and all we need to do now to get our data to connect to BigQuery is we're just going to drag it in and connect the two together, and we're pretty much done. And if you're like me, you like things nicely aligned, so we're just going to align that to make it look a little bit prettier. So that's it. That's all we had to do to get our data into BigQuery. And now that process will run and the data will appear. So here is our data in BigQuery, and we can look in, we can see our columns, and if we look at the details, we can zoom in and we can see that we have about 8.5 million rows of data. So that's a pretty good amount of data for us to play with. So customers all over the world love using BigQuery for their insights and their analytics because it gets them away from having to worry about data and data administration and all of those sort of aspects, and it lets them focus on the analytics and the insights. And one way to get analytics and insights is to use Google Data Studio. And we recently announced BigQuery BI Engine, which is an additional layer into BigQuery for high-speed insights of your data. You can now get data from BigQuery into Data Studio in literally the speed of thought. It's a very, very quick process. And so that's really important when you're looking for those data to make business decisions. So here we are in Data Studio, powered by BI Engine. And we can go in and we can have a look at a few charts here, but let's take a look at Brazil. So we can see here that we're seeing a delivery delay in Brazil. So we want to drill down on that. So what we're going to do is we're going to click on Brazil, and you can see in very quick time, we now can actually break down our reporting into a Brazil-specific data. And then we can then take action on that and move forward. So let's just assume for a moment that we understand what is happening in Brazil, and we're going forward and we can make the changes to repair this package delay issue in Brazil. But that's a reactive process. We want to get ahead of the curve. So we're going to use a new product that we've released called AutoML Tables. AutoML Tables is for people who understand the data but don't have perhaps the knowledge of principles like models or TensorFlow and things like that. All they need to know is how to use the data, and they can start to get some insights. So here we are in AutoML Tables, and what we've done is we've imported the schema from BigQuery into AutoML. And we've selected the delivered in time column to be the column that we want to use to train the data. So we can then, now obviously training data can be quite a time-consuming process, so we've gone ahead of time and done that for you. So we can see here that we now have trained our model and we're in the evaluation stage. How good is the prediction? And we can see here that we're about 88% accurate. And that's pretty good for a first run in order to start getting some insights from that. And once we've trained that data and we're happy with how it looks, we can then actually start to predict based on this AutoML Tables model. And so what we're going to do now is we're going to run that AutoML model against our shipping data to start to get those insights. And of course, we can export the data from this analysis back into BigQuery. And of course, once it's back in BigQuery, we can then bring it back into Data Studio. So now we then can expose those predictive insights in that fantastic Data Studio insightful dashboard. So let's see how it all turned out. Here we are. Now, if we zoom in on our world map, we now see that we are in predictive mode. We can now see that Brazil's no longer an issue because we've already sorted it out. And we're now seeing that the next potential trouble spot when it comes to package delivery delays is India. So that, of course, as I said, lets us get ahead of the curve. And of course, if we're ahead of the curve, we can solve the problem before it surfaces. That's going to lead to happier customers. Happier customers are going to lead to more revenue. So that's super, super important. So let's just quickly recap. Without writing a single line of code, just by using the Google Cloud Platform interface, we've used Cloud Data Fusion to import and clean up our data from our on-premise database. We've visualized and got some business insights using the BigQuery BI engine and Data Studio. And we've got predictive insights using AutoML table. And of course, because these don't require any code, it's completely up to literally anybody with the capability in your organization has the power to generate these insights and this business knowledge. So that's all I wanted to show you today. Thank you, and I'll hand it back to Alison.
Thank you, Graham. I always love watching that demo because it's just great to think of all the predictive power that's available to us. I know in marketing I think about that, but I'm sure all of you do as well. So smart analytics is about incorporating AI and ML now into all of your digital transformation. And to realize our vision here, we're bringing intelligence closer to your people and to your business processes. We're really focusing on developing AI for everyone. So let's start with the builders, people who want to use AI to enhance the existing applications, and people who want to build new ones. We recently announced 2 major developments that help builders focus on what they do best. So the first one is AI Platform, and this gives builders the flexibility to build ML models that can run on-premises or on GCP without code changes. AI Platform helps you do that by providing a code-based end-to-end development platform that supports Kubeflow, Google's open source platform. And the next big development is an AI Hub. So we've made that available as a hosted repository for you to be able to share models, pipelines, notebooks across enterprise users and access the best content from Google or from partners. These both help your teams be more effective in discovering and sharing code without inventing bespoke solutions every single time. But now, what if you don't want to code, but you still want custom AI models? We have a way to do that, and that's called AutoML. We introduced AutoML last year, and customers across the world are loving it. It helps you build custom models without writing a single line of code. It works on images, text, translation, and we recently introduced 2 more variants of AutoML, those that you see here. And we help you work with video and structured data in all forms of tables. So we've seen inspiring stories about customers who have never used applied AI before that are now able to solve some of their most meaningful problems using AutoML. But moving from builders, let's talk about how we're using AI to help bring AI closer to your business processes. So we recently introduced pre-built AI solutions that leverage the very best of our technologies, and I'm going to highlight 3 of them. One of them is around recommendations AI. So this solution draws on Google's deep expertise in being able to personalize and create personalized recommendations. And now we are able to bring that to you so that you can do that for your products and solutions. For example, one of our customers, Disney, uses recommendations AI to be able to serve up the right products to people on their website. Second is around document understanding AI solution. It helps organizations automatically extract insights from content from documents, and it simplifies the discovery and management of content. And third is perhaps one of my favorite new solutions we've introduced, Contact Center AI. Because I think we can all identify with times that we've been sitting on hold on the phone for a long time, and then when finally a rep speaks with us, they don't know anything about our question and the information doesn't get shared, and it's often a very miserable customer experience. Well, so now we've created Contact Center AI to help you scale your phone support without compromising that experience. It allows virtual agents to help callers, and then it sources relevant information to live agents when it's appropriate for a conversation to happen. And then we recently announced with Contact Center AI that we're involving partners as well. For example, we've teamed up with Salesforce to be able to provide Contact Center AI as part of their Service Cloud. And so as part of that partnership, we now have chatbots that we're working on together, Agent Assist to highlight the relevant information, and also the data quality and analytics are really greatly improved. So if you're part of an organization with a big call center, I definitely recommend that you check out this product. So now I'm going to move into the final portion of our keynote, which is around productivity and collaboration. Because our vision for digital transformation isn't just about computers and software and algorithms. It's about improving how we all work and how we use the cloud to really help with our productivity and how we collaborate with each other. It's about investing in the people. So at the core of our productivity and collaboration solutions, we offer G Suite. It's a set of cloud-based applications, including Gmail, Calendar, Docs, and Drive. Also, we have video conferencing with Hangouts, Meet, and Chat. So hopefully you're familiar with a lot of these products, and I'm guessing many of them you use in your personal lives, but we have great business solutions for these as well. And we're working with a number of companies in this area here, and actually in a few minutes we'll be able to hear from SPH about how they're using G Suite in their organization. But let's talk about the numbers for a second, just to give you a sense of the scale of G Suite usage. So right now, over 1.5 billion people around the world are using apps that comprise G Suite. And we also have more than 5 million paying businesses using G Suite right now. But just as important as how many people are using them, it's about what's the impact. And so we're seeing really strong impact in terms of value and productivity. We recently did a study Forrester did a study about the total economic impact and found that organizations that use G Suite had a 1.5% higher set of revenues due to the productivity improvements. And speaking of productivity, we also found that employees saved 171 hours of time per year. That is 1 working month per year per employee. I'm sure you could all appreciate what it would feel like to have a month back of your time. So with G Suite, teams can make it fast, they can make it smart, they can make it all together. That's the kind of theme of how we think about it. But it's also critical that we think about world-class security. And so to show you a little bit about some of the security enhancements that we have and that we've been offering, I'm going to turn it over to my colleague, Yoshiko Sato, who's going to share with you some of our G Suite security elements. Take it away.
Thank you, Alison. Good morning, Singapore. Quiet. Zhao Welcome. Selamat pagi. Ohayo gozaimasu. My name is Yoshiki Sato. I'm leading G Suite specialist team in the Asia Pacific region. So in my demonstration, I would like to introduce a new advanced security feature, the Security Center Investigation Tool today. So investigation tool helps to identify and triage the security incident within the organization. It was launched at the end of last year, and we added a lot of capability this year. So today is my mission. I am a G Suite administrator. As an admin, unfortunately, I received an alert that many employees are being targeted by malicious emails. I have to investigate and I have to delete those emails as soon as possible. That is my mission. Okay, so this is the investigation tool, very simple UI. From the investigation tool, I can manage user account, I can manage device, I can manage the Gmail, and also the Google Drive content. So for example, when I manage the email content remotely, I choose Gmail logs event and add some condition. So for example, the subject should contain important notice. And also, I want to filter by a received email only. Then I select event and receive. So now I can search using the investigation tool across my organization, and I detected 10 email items from the multiple end users mailbox. As an admin, so these malicious emails should be deleted immediately. So I just select all emails and select the delete emails. Then I can remotely remove everything from my organization. The drive is the same. If I select the drive logs event, the title, for example, the title contains confidential. I can search across my organization and I detect some contents. So for example, if I select a specific action like an audit file permission, I can remotely review this file permission. So my demo environment, g-guardian.com, he's the owner, but he shared with some external domain like a great company .work. Then, so this content is a confidential. This shouldn't be shared with external. So as an admin, I remove access from the content remotely. Okay, now my organization data is safe. So wrapping up, the investigation tool helps to investigate and triage security incident remotely from the admin console. I don't need to ask my colleague to do anything. So this is the most important things for this tool. So to talk about what digital transformation means for one customer, I am super excited to invite her. Please welcome Fiona Chan, Singapore Press Holdings, on stage.
Thank you, Sato-san. Good morning, everybody. My name is Fiona. I'm from Singapore Press Holdings, or SPH. We are a listed media company in Singapore and one of the biggest media publishers in Southeast Asia. SPH actually has a very long digital history. We were one of the first publishers in the world to start our news website for the Straits Times in 1994, and that was ahead of many major global publishers. Today, in addition to our newspapers, our radio stations, and our magazines, we have more than 100 digital sites and apps. And altogether, we have about 4 million monthly unique users. This is just in Singapore alone. Globally, we have 10 to 20 million monthly uniques. And we have nearly 200 million monthly page views. So today, I'm here to share about our digital transformation, not just in terms of our websites, but how we transformed internally as a company. And our digital acceleration really started only 3 to 5 years ago with the help of some Google tools, such as Gmail and G Suite. In 2017, we force migrated 4,000 of our employees to G Suite, including all our divisions and our subsidiaries. This was a very painful journey. In fact, my colleague who spearheaded it is actually here in the audience today. He can tell you more about that. The idea was really to catalyze a change of mindset and culture through the use of some of these new productivity and collaboration tools. For journalists, having access to Gmail meant they were now able to file breaking news, including photos and videos, on the ground a lot more effectively, without having to use VPN to access their emails on their mobile devices. They could share their files via Google Drive links, no limitations on email file sizes. And nowadays in SPH, everyone has a day job and another day job where we collaborate on strategic work streams and project groups. Having shared drives makes it a lot easier to share documents and files across different divisions. G Suite also allows us to have real-time interaction and feedback through some of the tools such as Google Forms, where we can easily create employee engagement forms, and send them out instantly. With Google Sites, we can create project groups and sites for us to disseminate information more easily throughout the organization. I think it's fair to say that G Suite has changed all our work lives. We have opened up calendars, and it's integrated with our room booking systems. Every morning when I wake up, my calendar is full for the week because people have cleverly gone in and inserted meetings every half an hour. All the rooms and the venues are booked, and it's integrated with Google Maps, so it's a lot easier also to identify where you're going. It's very efficient, and each meeting booking can have a Hangouts link inserted into it, so we can video conference with participants from all over the world as well. Now that internally we have united our operations, we've turned our attention to unifying our data and the way we reach our audiences as well. We've also used some of the Google tools here, such as Google Analytics 360 and BigQuery, Data Studio, Google Optimize, and so on. Our strategy is really to create best-in-class content and products and build loyalty with our customers through that. This will enable us to collect rich data from our customers, both online and offline, which we can then use to target them with marketing messages, advertising, and targeted content. We have a concept called liquid content, where we want every single piece of content we create to flow across all our channels and platforms in a really omni-channel manner. One way we have used the unified data or the audience data we're collecting now is to put the data in the hands of our strongest assets. These are our content creators and our journalists. We have built dozens of customized dashboards for each of our journalists using Google Data Studio. This plugs straight into GA data and can create dashboard templates at scale. If you read the news, you know that you can't really compare a politics story about with a story about K-pop and celebrities. So we want to make sure that the journalist gets the data that's most relevant to them and their beat and their desk. We've created all these dashboards for desks and sections, sometimes even down to the individual journalists, so they can see how their content is performing against historical performance and against their colleagues in the same desk. This lets them make data-informed editorial decisions about what content creates the most loyalty and keeps our readers coming back to our sites. Beyond that, after we've created the content that people want, we also have to deliver it to the right readers. Again, we use our data to match users with the most relevant content for each and every reader on our sites. We've built our own content recommendations engine that's tailored for news content. Now, news content is a bit special when it comes to recommendations engines because we create a lot of content every day. The Straits Times alone creates 300 articles on a daily basis. Coupled that with the volume of new users that are coming on our site, it's quite difficult for us to match the right content with the right user. What we've done is we've taken all the profile information about our users, matched that with the content and the activities that they're currently browsing on our sites, and find the right content in our archives to serve up to each and every single reader. Basically, we're catering to a market segment of one. Every reader gets to see specific content tailored for his own preferences. Using this engine, we've seen a significant drop in our bounce rate on the homepage, an increase in time spent, and an increase in pages viewed per user. And that's how Google has helped us to go from our journey being a digital-first organization to now being an audience-first one, using all the tools at our disposal to really bring together people, data, and teams across different silos to work together better. That's helped us work effectively and unified everything that we have in order for us to deliver better business outcomes. On that note, I'll hand it back to Alison. Thank you, everyone. Do you need it?
Great, thank you. Thank you, Fiona. It's great to hear about how SPH is using G Suite and using other areas of Google as well to really help grow your business and really connect better with your readers and your customers and your audience. So that concludes the 5 different aspects of our keynote this morning. And so hopefully you've had a great opportunity to learn about building infrastructure and about shipping great code, as Greg said, and data management and smart analytics, and then productivity and collaboration. And so now I'm going to turn it back over to Tim, who is going to wrap up the morning and tell you about what's in store for you for the rest of today. And thank you all of you who have been on the live stream as well. Tim, welcome back.
Thank you, Allison. Is everybody excited? Some people sound excited over here. Well, I hope you're excited. We are, because we think that we're building something really special with all of you. So again, thank you very much for your participation. I'd also like to thank Dr. Santi, Quexin, and Fiona. Thank you so much for your stories, and thank you for your partnership. It's wonderful for us to be able to work with all of your organizations. Thank you very much. Now, we covered a lot during our keynote today, but I'd just like to recap, some of the key themes in terms of our differentiation for everyone. Firstly, we offer an end-to-end security model. That's with our purpose-built infrastructure. That's really important for us. Secondly, we believe in an open cloud, whether that's multi-cloud or hybrid cloud or something in between. Thirdly, we automate everything. We want to make it easier for developers to ship great code and not worry about managing the underlying infrastructure. Who wants to do that? We also embed intelligence in everything that we do. So we want to make it easier for organizations to be able to capitalize on the promise of machine learning and artificial intelligence. And lastly, we really bring the best of Google. When you partner with Google Cloud, you're partnering with Google. And 21 years of innovation. We just celebrated our birthday a couple of weeks ago, so Google's 21 years old. But partnering with us allows you to leverage on that innovation, leverage on the transformation and the culture that we have across your organization. Now, we're concluding the first part of our session, our keynotes, and we're going to move to the next part of our program. We have 4 breakout tracks with multiple sessions within those breakout tracks. So if you haven't downloaded the application, please do so. The application will guide you to the track which is of interest to you. So we're going to be running these throughout the day today. So we have 4 of them. One is around infrastructure modernization. Second one is around smarter analytics. So if you're a data engineer, a data analyst, a data scientist, you'll want to attend that one. We have a track on application platform as a service. So if you're interested in building modern software applications, you'll want to attend that. And then lastly, we have a track on productivity and collaboration. We also have a lot of Googlers here today. We have a developer zone. So if you want to interact with our developers and our technology, please be sure to visit that area. And I also encourage you, as I mentioned earlier, please spend time with our partners. Please learn about some of the capabilities that they've built with Google Cloud. Now, before we close, I do have one call of action for all of you. If you're not using our cloud today, shame on you, but if you're not using our cloud today, I'd encourage you to start experimenting. Don't wait. Start experimenting with our cloud. And take inspiration from what's happening here in Singapore. Singapore has quickly become the gateway to Southeast Asia and beyond, for that matter. There's so much talent here. There's so much creativity happening in Singapore, and there's a lot of innovation that's happening in Singapore. So I'd ask all of you to use that as your inspiration, experiment with Google Cloud, build on our platform, and we want to be a good partner with you along that journey as well. So thank you very much. Enjoy your day with us today. Have a great day ahead. Thank you, everybody.